Welcome back. This is chapter 1055. Nice little review coming out for another peak Oda chapter. Oda 1054 comes out, and you think 1054, how is Oda gonna outdo 1054? And then you think to yourself, you know, where can he take this story? Like, what is going to happen with Green Bull, with Momo? We know Momo becomes like the great shogun of Wano, so it's like, does Momo start off his shogunhood as an L? Did he take an L to Green Bull? Did Green Bull pull up to Wano and sauce on them? Like, if so, how did his legacy as the great shogun become a thing? And this chapter does kind of clarify some stuff. We get some info on Big Shanks, Big S. Overall, just a great chapter. So to kick things off, the cover page is really cool. The cover page is promotion for Film Red. You see Shanks in the background. You get to see Luffy in his Film Red like pirate outfit, which looks really cool. I really like it. Also interesting, he's carrying a sword on him. I don't know if that's by design or if we're actually going to see Luffy holding a sword in the movie. I really hope we do. So cover page, awesome Film Red material. And then the first page actually is also more Film Red information, which I'm actually not going to get into. I'm actually going to do like a whole separate video on Film Red kind of stuff. And my power scaling video, the top 20, is also coming out soon. So stay on the lookout for that. Before we start, I really appreciate if you guys can give me like, just a comment or a like or a dislike even. Just, I don't know, something to help promote me in the algorithm. I'm out here trying to grind. I love One Piece, and I like the community of One Piece, and you guys put a lot of people on. So anyway, chapter starts off, the party is in full swing, as literally as it says in the manga. Like, the party is in full swing. People are dancing. People are still having a ton of fun. You even get to see, Nami and Zeus. You literally even see Zeus. Like, he's sitting there. He's enjoying. He's having a good time. Everyone's chilling. And then it goes from that nice party scene just instantly back to the beef with Yamato and Momonosuke kind of arguing a little bit. Yamato wants to come in and help fight Green Bull, but Momo is not having that. Momo does not want Yamato to step in, and I can see why. Actually, he also even kind of explains why himself here. So you get this really sick panel that I'm going to put on the screen up here. I always forget it's my other hand right there. And I'll be in the corner. Of Green Bull, just shitting on Momo. And Green Bull just looks like a big piece of broccoli, bro. He's a bulky piece of broccoli. He's big as shit. And he's just got Momo gripped up right now on the floor. Momo's like, yeah. He's like, he's fighting for his life right now. And the scabbards jump in. Raizo jumps in. It's been a nice little fireball, like, kind of shit. And it makes you think that it works, like, with the paneling. And then Green Bull's like, hold on a minute, player. I'm just kidding. Because he's bullshitting around. He has a move called Fireproof Forest. And he mentioned something that, you're up against a Navy Admiral. You think I wouldn't be able to guard such an obvious weakness. And it's kind of interesting to think about that, because when I was thinking in my head, I was going to release a discussion video on Sabo and A Few Good Men versus Fujitora and Green Bull up at Marijawa, but I was a little lazy. That didn't come out, so I'm happy to talk about it here as well, where it's like, what do they do in scenarios of natural counters, like, against them? Like Enel versus Luffy, or Aokiji versus Akainu, or Sabo versus Green Bull, because, fire would melt a forest. And maybe like Green Bull has here, where Green Bull is able to deal with the fire coming from Raizo's fireball effectively. And it's just, I don't know, it makes me wonder, what do the rest of them have? Like, do Akainu and Aokiji and stuff like that have, similar abilities? And, the chapter goes on a little bit. They're still fighting. They're battling it out. And Green Bull kind of puts Raizo in a coffin a little bit. I'm not... I'm not sure what's going on with Raizo, but he's just taking an L. You know, he impales him with like like he just impales him, he stabs him in the chest, and he's like sucking the nutrients out of him. So Raizo held that L. And, the rest of the scabbards just come in and they're trying to fight. You see Kawamatsu jumps in and Nekomamushi jumps in. You have like the kind of fat lady scabbard. I don't even think she's a scabbard. I don't even remember her name, to be honest with you. They're trying to figure out a weakness. They're all trying to jump him and everything, but she says it herself. They're weed whackers right now versus Green Bull. Green Bull is holding this down. Green Bull is bodying all of the scabbards. Denjiro, Raizo, Nekomamushi, like everyone is holding this L. And then the chapter gets to that sauce, baby, that drip. We go from... Also, I just changed my gain, so the shit might change. Like, the audio quality might change. Anyway. We go to the sauce. It cuts away from the fight with Momo and them. And we go into the castle basement. Into the Kozuki Sukiyaki secret room. And it goes to Law, Robin, and Odin's father, descending into the basement even more, and they're discussing, poneglyphs. So they get down the steps, and what's his face? Odin's dad, Sukiyaki, he's telling them, like Kaido or Orochi were never told about this passage or whatever, but they actually still just naturally found it because of a fishman. And, being a reader, I think Law is kind of put in place as the reader here, where Law's like, Robin goes like, how would a fishman, discover the secret? And they go down, and Robin sees this little light or whatever, and she crawls into the passageway, and she gets a view of an underwater version of Wano. So this is Wano from the Void Century. We are getting more content on the Void Century, which is just awesome. And, he later reveals to us that the further you keep going down, you'll actually find the Pluton, the ancient weapon, the Pluton and everything, and that essentially Wano was kind of what we would see it as today, where Wano was above sea level. The structures all kind of look the same, all that kind of stuff. But at some point, the walls erected all around the island for whatever reason, and it kind of enclosed the island. So as a result, like rainwater just kind of piled up, had no place to escape to, all that, etc. And the town was eventually submerged underneath the water. And his dad reveals, this is from 800 years ago, this is from the Void Century, all that kind of stuff. And they come to a load poneglyph, which I don't know why my translation says load. I think it's because everything was meant to be with an L, like lodestar, all that kind of stuff, instead of, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, but it's revealed there's two Wanos. We have the Wano above the ground, and now we have the Wano below the sea. And this Wano below the sea is so fucking cool, bro. It's so awesome to see it underwater. You get to see the fishes, like the carp swimming around it, but just gives it that great deal of mystery. Like, the paneling really sucks you in. And, they come across a road poneglyph, and they're talking about it. Robin mentions that this is the third. Obviously, they only need one more, so they have the one from Zoe, they have the one from Big Mom, and now they have the one in Wano, from Kaido. So now we're just looking for that fourth one, which obviously it's Shanks. I'm gonna guess it's Shanks who has it. And it's just crazy to think that the Pluton was there, and also the fact that Odin's father he doesn't know what it looks like. He's never even seen it, and he's not even able to show it to him. And that the reason no one can get to it is because Wano's borders have not been open. So maybe Kaido was actually doing a disservice to himself by not actually opening up the borders here. Because then he probably would have got the Pluton. Kaido, I want to make a video on Kaido. I want to make a whole video talking about Kaido and his ambitions. What does death mean? Why is he in Wano? All this kind of stuff. But if Wano obviously is important to Kaido. And I think Kaido was probably aware about Wano's ties to the Void Century, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, he's aware that the Poneglyphs and everything originate from Wano, all that kind of stuff. So Kaido was really obsessed with Joy Boy, and he's probably also obsessed with the ancient weapons. So I think Kaido knew Pluton was here, but he had no idea how to get to it. And maybe if he would have been able to open up the borders of Wano, it would have been beneficial for him. But that's for another video. But opening the country is quite literally losing their greatest defense. And if you go back a couple chapters ago, you know, Momo says to Zunisha, do not open the borders yet. And it makes me wonder, what does Zunisha have to do? Like, how would Zunisha open up the borders? Would she literally just destroy the walls around Wano? Or is there something specific to it? But now we know why Odin wanted to open the borders. And I guess currently why Momo does not, because obviously there's a threat of the Marines all surrounding the island or whatever. They have an admiral on there and stuff like that. So for the time being, with the knowledge Momo has, because I'm pretty sure Momo knows that Pluton is here and how to actually access it, because he read the journal and everything. I feel like Momo knows everything. So we do get a little bit of clarification on why Momo didn't want the borders to be opened. But it is really interesting now that we're getting more stuff about the ancient weapons. And that it's just, dude, everything is just coming so great with this chapter. This chapter was literally is just packed. So anyway, everything that Odin's dad told him, or told them, is just stuff that he's been told. He's never actually seen it himself, and he doesn't know if Odin actually learned more himself. So the knowledge he has might just be outdated for all we know. There could be more information that's purposely not being given to us because Odin's not here. And as far as we're aware, the only characters that know what Odin knows now would be Momo. But all that gas pack goes down with Pluton, the road poneglyph, you know, Odin, underwater Wano. There's a ton to talk about here. And Oda decides to close that scene off, and then we kind of go back to the capital where we see Green Bull still fighting with the Scabbards and Momo. And it's kind of interesting here because the admirals are frauds. The admirals are frauds. The admirals are down in the mud. They're in the dirt. They're with the ZKK fans right now. Zoro not killing Kaido, and the admirals are not beating Yonko. Green Bull even admits to getting folded up by one of them. He goes, if Kaido was still in charge, I would not have come here. You want to know why? Because they are frauds. And he goes, you know, I'm sure living under Kaido's regime was horrible, blah, 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 all the blah, 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 blah. He's just talking out his ass. Who cares? And he's like, bring me Luffy. And this panel's actually really sick. He's got all of the Scabbards kind of gripped up. He's folding all of them. Momo's on the ground, pretty much slumped. And Yamato's like, let's call Luffy for help. This guy is too much. And I really respect Momo's character here because Momo understands, like, he needs to be the one to defend Wano. The people, the samurai, the Scabbards, and Momo, they are in charge of Wano now. Luffy's getting ready to leave. He's not always going to be there. So he needs to know, or he needs to reaffirm to his people that he is the leader that they need. So I really like Momo's character here. And it kind of bothers me that Yamato doesn't understand this, given everything that kind of happened with her and stuff. But, you know, Momo just wishes to do everything on his own with the people of Wano. And you kind of see him use a blast breath. Like, this panel right here is packed of Momo blast breathing through Green Bull. And Green Bull is actually hurt by that. And even Momo's shocked. Momo wasn't even sure that he could do the blast breath himself. Granted, he doesn't say blast breath, but, I mean, it's the exact same move. But Green Bull's getting humbled. Green Bull's getting tipped on right now by Momo. And everyone's gassed up now. The tides are turning. And, you know, Momo's getting this great control of his dragon form. Young man right here down in the dirt. He's about to get blast breath again. And you see him get up from it. And Green Bull is like withered, bro. He looks like a fucking old crinkly man. He looks like Smoothie just shake them the fuck out of his life juice and just left him barely alive. He looks dead. He looks very, very, very tired. But he kind of recovers quickly. And Green Bull's pissed. He's ready for action. And then you get this beautiful panel of just Conqueror's Hockey lightning like hitting the sky. And you can't even help but smile because you know who it is, baby. Big Shanks. Big Shanks is nearby. Even Green Bull, just from the hockey alone, from Shanks' hockey, Green Bull is shook. Green Bull is like, oh my god, what the fuck is that? Who is that? And he's able to recognize that kind of prowess of Conqueror's Hockey as Shanks immediately. And I don't think it's hockey is like Naruto, where in Naruto we could characters could kind of sense who is who based off I guess like their chakra vibes that they were giving off or whatever. I don't think that exists in One Piece. I don't think you can tell or like distinguish hockey users by like feeling of hockey in a way. In the traditional sense that it's felt like in a show like Naruto or even Bleach sometimes with like spirit pressure, all that or whatever. So it's interesting that when this hockey is that strong, Green Bull just identifies it immediately as like, this has to be Red Hair Shanks. Like, this is nuts. And, you know, they're on this ship. I think it's Lucky Roo. Lucky Roo is like, dude, Shanks, you can't be using your conquerors like that. Like, all the newbies here, they're foaming out the mouth. And Shanks pulls up and he's like, yeah, I'm not trying to call you guys cowards, but you're just trying to beat on some exhausted pirates. Like, it's kind of cringe. And, you know, Shanks has these memories of everyone. Hiyori and Momo and Luffy all crying upset. These are people that Shanks has been around and he's known, I guess, since they've been born pretty much. Like, he's known Luffy since he's a child. He's probably there when Hiyori and Momo were born. It's just, I don't know. It's awesome to see Shanks like looking back and thinking about that. And Pete Fiction, Pete Panel, does the new age frighten you that much? And the answer to that is yes. I'm going to come out with a video later on this week, most likely, within the next week or two, of the Admirals versus the Yonkos, because this is a debate that's been going on forever in the One Piece community. I don't know why. The Yonkos are washing the Admirals. Green Bull admitted he wouldn't come if Kaido was still there because he would have got folded. Conqueror's Hockey from Shanks alone made Green Bull fold. So this is Green Bull agreeing he was going to get sauced up on by two Yonkos already. Fujitora, he not even in my top 30. Like, Fuji, get out of here. He's losing to Zoro. All that kind of, like, the Admirals are down in the mud. And this chapter kind of cemented it with Shanks just coming in and humbling him so fast. And Green Bull just folds like laundry. He goes, oh, I don't want to pick a fight with you guys. Like, not today, bro. I'm gone. And it just cuts back to everyone at the festival dancing, having fun. You know, Momo and the Scabbards, I guess, successfully fended off Green Bull. Granted, with the help of Shanks a little bit. One sec. We're going to get a fresh cup of Joe break real fast. And then the chapter ends. Really good shot. Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, Jinbei. And they're just sitting there. They were watching it the whole time. He goes, you know, I guess we didn't need to land a hand after all, says Sanji. And, you know, they're talking about Momo. Check him out and everything. And Jinbei makes a comment like, dude, that hockey right now was just something crazy. Like, who was that? And it's just Luffy, Peak Fiction Panel. He's just smiling. He's like, a familiar face just popped into my head. And then the chapter ends. The final panel is with Shanks just sailing off into the ocean. We don't know where he's going. Hopefully to Elbaf. Come on, Oda. You know you want to go to Elbaf. But yeah, that was just my thoughts and everything on the whole chapter. This was another like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 chapter with Oda. Like, Wano is concluding so fucking awesome right now. Like, there's so much stuff I'm looking forward to. I'm just curious, what are your guys' thoughts on 1055, or I guess just the endings of Wano in general. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Be on the lookout for the Yonko vs. Admirals video coming out, and there will be, I don't know when, but I'm going to start working on the top 20 in the One Piece verse, especially post Wano, because now that we're here and we're in the end game, we know most of the major players, all that kind of stuff. Should be kind of fun to talk about. I might bring on a guest, a couple of people. This kid Vaughn's really, I know, really into One Piece. My friend Jan really into One Piece. It might be get some separate voices on it, some input or whatever. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.